Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fluent Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Fluent, and this is the show where we have real conversations to help you improve your English naturally. Today, I have a very special guest with me.
Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel. Thanks for having me on the show, Mr. Fluent.
It's my pleasure, Daniel. Today, we're going to talk about something I think everyone can relate to: hobbies and free time. You know, those activities that make us happy and help us relax after a busy day at work. Daniel, I'm really excited to hear about what you like to do in your free time.
Oh, that's a great topic. I love talking about hobbies.
Perfect. So, Daniel, let's start with the basics. What do you usually do after work? You know, when you get home and you finally have some time for yourself.
Well, after work, I'm usually pretty tired. So the first thing I like to do is just sit down and read a book. Reading is probably my biggest hobby.
Oh, really? That's wonderful.
Yeah, I find it so relaxing. After spending 8 hours looking at a computer screen at work, it feels really good to hold a real book in my hands.
I totally understand that.
It's like it takes my mind completely away from work problems. When I'm reading, I forget about emails, meetings, deadlines, everything.
That sounds perfect. What kind of books do you like to read?
I really enjoy mystery novels. You know, those stories where you have to solve a crime or find out what happened.
Oh, like detective stories?
Exactly. I love trying to figure out who did it before the end of the book. It's like a puzzle for your brain. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm completely wrong, but it's always fun.
That's so interesting. It sounds like reading really helps you unwind after work.
Definitely. And on weekends, when I have more time, I also love watching movies. That's another big hobby of mine.
Nice. What types of movies do you enjoy?
I like many different types, but my favorites are probably action movies and comedies. Action movies are exciting and keep me interested from start to finish.
Right. They're very entertaining.
And comedies are perfect when I want to laugh and feel good. After a stressful week at work, sometimes you just need to watch something funny, you know?
Absolutely. Laughter is really good medicine for stress. Do you usually watch movies at home or do you go to the cinema?
Both, actually. I love going to the cinema for big action movies because the sound and the big screen make everything more exciting.
That makes sense.
But for comedies, I prefer staying home. I can make some popcorn, get comfortable on my couch, and just relax. Plus, if the movie is really funny, I can laugh as loud as I want without worrying about other people.
Ha! That's a great point. I can definitely relate to that. Now, you mentioned reading and movies. Those are more quiet, relaxing activities. Do you also have any active hobbies, like sports or exercise?
Oh yes, I actually love going to the gym. I try to go at least 3 times a week.
That's impressive. 3 times a week is really consistent.
Well, I try to be consistent, but sometimes life gets busy and I miss a day. But I always try to go back the next week.
That's the important thing, not giving up.
Exactly. And I really notice a difference in how I feel when I exercise regularly. After a good workout, I feel more energetic and less stressed. It's like all the tension from work just goes away.
That's wonderful. What kind of exercises do you like to do at the gym?
I usually do a mix of things. I start with about 20 minutes on the treadmill or exercise bike to warm up.
Good cardio workout.
Right. Then I do some weight training. Nothing too heavy, just enough to stay strong and healthy. And I always finish with some stretching. That part is really relaxing.
That sounds like a perfect routine. And I bet it helps you sleep better too.
Oh, absolutely. On the days I exercise, I fall asleep much faster and I sleep much deeper. It's amazing how much exercise affects your whole day.
That's so true. Now, I have to ask about something that many of our listeners probably love: food. Do you enjoy trying new foods or cooking?
Oh, wow. You just mentioned one of my favorite topics. I absolutely love trying new foods. It's like a little adventure every time.
I love that attitude. Tell me more about it.
Well, I live in a city with lots of different restaurants, so there are always new places to try. Last month, I went to a Thai restaurant for the first time, and I was amazed by all the different flavors.
Thai food is delicious. Was it very spicy?
Ha! Yes, it was spicier than I expected. I ordered something called pad thai, which the waiter said was not very spicy, but for me it was still quite hot.
Oh no. Did you finish it?
I did finish it, but I drank about 4 glasses of water. But you know what? Even though it was spicy, I really enjoyed it. The flavors were so different from anything I usually eat.
That's great. I think trying new foods is such a fun way to experience different cultures.
Exactly. I feel like every new restaurant teaches me something about a different country or culture, and it's a nice break from my usual routine.
Absolutely. Do you ever try cooking these new foods at home?
I try sometimes, but I have to admit I'm not a very good cook. Usually when I try to make something I ate at a restaurant, it doesn't taste the same at home,
Oh, I think everyone can relate to that.
right? But it's still fun to try. And even if my cooking isn't perfect, I still learn something new each time. Plus, cooking can be very relaxing when you're not worried about making it perfect.
That's a great way to think about it. Now, all these hobbies sound wonderful, but do you ever do activities with other people, like spending time with friends?
Oh, definitely. Spending time with friends is probably my favorite weekend activity. We have a group of about 5 friends, and we try to get together every Saturday or Sunday.
That sounds nice. What do you usually do together?
It depends on the weather and how we're feeling. Sometimes we go to a park and have a picnic, especially in spring and summer when the weather is nice.
That sounds lovely.
Other times we just meet at someone's house and talk, play games, or watch a movie together. Sometimes we try to go to those new restaurants I mentioned. It's more fun to try new food with friends.
Oh, that's a great idea. You can all try different dishes and share them.
Exactly. And if someone doesn't like their food, they can try something else from the table. Plus, if the food is really spicy like that Thai food I mentioned, you have friends to laugh with you when you're drinking all that water.
That's so true. Friends make everything more fun. How do you think spending time with friends affects your stress levels?
Oh, it makes a huge difference. When I'm with my friends, I completely forget about work problems and daily stress. We laugh a lot, we share stories, and we just enjoy the moment.
That's wonderful.
Sometimes I realize that I haven't thought about work for 3 or 4 hours, and that feels amazing. It's like my brain gets a vacation.
I love that expression. My brain gets a vacation. That's perfect. Speaking of stress, Daniel, you've mentioned several times how these hobbies help you deal with work stress. Can you tell our listeners a bit more about that?
Sure, I think hobbies are really important for mental health. When you work all day, especially if you work in an office like I do, your brain gets tired from thinking about the same types of problems all the time.
Right. That makes sense.
But when I read a mystery book, or watch a funny movie, or exercise at the gym, my brain gets to think about completely different things. It's like changing channels on TV, you know?
That's a great comparison.
And I notice that when I have a good balance of work and hobbies, I actually do better at work too. I'm more creative and I have more energy for solving problems because my mind has had time to rest and recharge.
That's such an important point. So hobbies don't just make your free time better, they actually improve your work life too.
Exactly. And they give you something to look forward to. You know, on a difficult Monday at work, I might think, okay, I just need to get through this week, and then on Saturday I can meet my friends for dinner at that new restaurant.
That's so true. Having something fun planned really helps you get through the tough days.
Right. And I think it's important to have different types of hobbies. Like reading is quiet and peaceful, but exercising is active and energetic. Sometimes I need one, sometimes I need the other.
That's really wise. So you're saying it's good to have variety in your hobbies.
Definitely. Some days I want to be social and go out with friends, but other days I just want to be alone with a good book. Some days I want to challenge my body at the gym, and other days I want to challenge my mind by trying to solve a mystery in a novel.
That's perfect. You're really giving your mind and body different ways to relax and recharge. I think our listeners can learn a lot from your approach. Now, before we finish, do you have any advice for people who might be thinking, I'm too busy for hobbies, or I don't know what hobbies I would enjoy?
Oh, that's a great question. For people who think they're too busy, I would say start really small. You don't need to spend 3 hours at the gym or read a whole book in one day.
Right. Small steps.
Exactly. Maybe just read for 15 minutes before bed, or take a 20-minute walk after dinner, or call a friend once a week. Even small changes can make you feel better.
That's excellent advice. What about people who don't know what they would enjoy?
I think the best way is to just try different things. Maybe think about what you enjoyed when you were younger, or ask friends what they like to do. Most people are happy to share their hobbies with others.
That's true.
And don't worry if the first thing you try isn't perfect for you. I actually tried painting a few years ago because a friend recommended it, but I discovered I'm terrible at it and I don't really enjoy it.
But that's okay. At least you found out.
Exactly. And trying painting helped me realize that I prefer activities where I can use my mind to solve problems, like reading mysteries. So even the hobbies that don't work out teach you something about yourself.
That's wonderful advice, Daniel. I think you've really shown our listeners how important it is to make time for activities you enjoy, and how these hobbies can improve not just your free time, but your whole life. That's such great advice. I'm curious about something. Do you find that your hobbies change with the seasons? Like, do you have different activities you enjoy in winter versus summer?
Thank you. I really hope people listening will try to find some activities they enjoy. Life is too short to just work and sleep. Oh, wow, absolutely. That's such a good observation. In summer, I'm much more active outdoors. I love going for long walks or hiking in nearby parks. The weather is perfect for those picnics with friends I mentioned earlier.
That sounds wonderful. And what about winter? I imagine that's quite different.
Winter is completely different. When it's cold and dark outside, I spend much more time indoors. That's actually when I do most of my reading. I'll make a cup of hot tea, put on some comfortable clothes, and just read for hours. It's so cozy and relaxing.
That sounds perfect for cold weather. Do you watch more movies in winter too?
Definitely. Winter is movie marathon season for me. Sometimes on a really cold Saturday, my friends and I will get together at someone's house and watch 2 or 3 movies in a row. We'll make hot chocolate and just have a cozy day inside. It's one of my favorite ways to spend a winter weekend.
That sounds amazing. I have to ask, since we're talking about entertainment, do you listen to music or podcasts as a hobby? Many people find those really relaxing too.
Oh yes, music is a huge part of my daily routine. I listen to music while I'm exercising at the gym. It really helps me stay motivated and keep going when the workout gets tough. And I also listen to music while I'm cooking those new recipes I mentioned earlier.
That's great. What kind of music do you enjoy? Do you have different types for different activities?
Actually, yes. For the gym, I prefer upbeat music, rock, pop, or electronic music that has a strong beat. It helps me keep the energy up. But when I'm reading or cooking, I like more relaxed music, maybe jazz or acoustic songs that won't distract me too much from what I'm doing.
That makes perfect sense. You're matching the music to the activity. What about podcasts? Do you listen to those too?
I do. I actually discovered podcasts just a couple of years ago, and now I love them. I usually listen to them when I'm doing cardio at the gym, or sometimes when I'm walking to work. I really enjoy true crime podcasts. They're like those mystery books I love, but in audio format.
Oh, that's perfect. True crime podcasts are like mysteries you can listen to while doing other things. Do they help make your workout time go by faster?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes I get so interested in the story that I completely forget I'm exercising. I'll be on the treadmill for 40 minutes and it feels like 10 minutes because I'm so focused on trying to solve the mystery. It's amazing how time flies when your mind is engaged in something interesting.
That's such a clever way to make exercise more enjoyable. Now, I want to ask about something that many of our younger listeners might relate to. Do you have any hobbies that involve technology, like gaming, photography with your phone, or social media?
That's interesting. I'm not really big into gaming, but I do enjoy taking photos with my phone, especially when I'm out with friends or trying those new restaurants we talked about. I like capturing memories, you know?
Photography is a wonderful hobby. Even if it's just with your phone, you're creating memories and practicing an artistic skill. Do you ever share those photos with friends or on social media?
I do share some photos, but I'm not one of those people who posts every day. I mostly share pictures of special moments, like when we discover a really great new restaurant or when we're having a picnic in a beautiful park. I think it's nice to share good experiences with others.
That's a nice balanced approach. Speaking of discovering new places, do you enjoy traveling? Is that something you consider a hobby?
I absolutely love traveling, though I don't get to do it as much as I'd like because of work and budget. But when I do travel, even if it's just for a weekend to a nearby city, I find it so refreshing. It combines several of my hobbies. I get to try new foods, take photos, and explore new places.
That's such a great point. Travel really is like a combination hobby. You get to experience so many different things all at once. Do you prefer planning your trips in detail, or do you like to be spontaneous?
I'm somewhere in the middle. I like to research restaurants, and maybe one or two main things I definitely want to see, but I also like to leave time for just walking around and discovering things by accident. Some of my best travel memories are from places I found just by wandering around.
That sounds like the perfect balance. You know, Daniel, as we've been talking, I've noticed that your hobbies include both activities that cost money, like going to restaurants and traveling, and free or low-cost activities, like reading library books and walking in parks. Do you think about the cost when choosing hobbies?
That's actually a really important point. Yes, I do think about cost. I have a monthly budget for entertainment and hobbies, and I try to balance expensive activities with free ones. For example, I might go to an expensive restaurant once a month, but I read library books and walk in free parks every week.
That's such smart budgeting. I think many of our listeners will appreciate that advice. You don't need to spend a lot of money to have fulfilling hobbies.
Exactly. And actually, some of my most enjoyable hobbies are completely free. Walking in nature, calling friends, listening to podcasts while exercising. These activities don't cost anything, but they give me so much pleasure and help me relax just as much as the expensive hobbies do.
That's wonderful advice. Now, I'm curious, do you ever set goals or challenges for yourself with your hobbies? Like reading a certain number of books per year or trying a new restaurant each month?
Oh, that's interesting. I do have some loose goals, but I try not to make them too strict because then it stops being fun. For example, I try to read at least one book per month, and I try to visit one new restaurant every few weeks. But if I don't meet these goals, I don't stress about it.
That's perfect. You want hobbies to add joy to your life, not stress. Do you find that having those gentle goals helps keep you motivated, though?
Yes, definitely. Having those loose goals gives me something to look forward to and helps me discover new things. Like, when I have the goal to try a new restaurant, I spend time researching different places and reading reviews. That anticipation and planning is actually part of the fun.
I love that. The planning and research becomes part of the hobby itself. Before we finish, I want to ask about one more thing. Have your hobbies ever helped you meet new people or connect with others who share similar interests?
Actually, yes! Some of my closest friendships started because of shared hobbies. I met two of my current friends at the gym. We started talking because we were both there at the same time every week. And I've had great conversations with strangers at bookstores when we were looking at the same mystery novels.
That's beautiful. Hobbies really can be a bridge to building new relationships in community. It gives people something in common to talk about right away.
Exactly. When you meet someone who loves mystery books like you do, or someone who's also trying to stay fit, you immediately have something meaningful to discuss. It's much easier than trying to make conversation about the weather. And these hobby-based friendships often become very deep because you already know you have similar interests and values.
And thank you to all our listeners for joining us today on Fluent Talk Podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, remember to subscribe and come back for more episodes where we practice English through natural conversations.